Well, as we wrap up another Triple Crown season in thoroughbred racing, one can't help to wonder what happens to the horses once their career is over and once the cheering stops. Of course, the best of the best are sent to breeding farms, while others spend the rest of their days in parts unknown. Here in Georgia, there's one place where retired racehorses not only live a life of luxury, they eventually find new purpose. It's often said that no other horse can beat the thoroughbred in speed and in distance at the same time. Yet for every American pharaoh or the secretariats of the world garnishing fame and fortune, there are millions of thoroughbreds that go unnoticed, and in some cases, even abandoned.
You have the different types of owners and the different types of care that the horses get, and that really does play a major part into how long they last at the track and whether or not they actually have the heart and drive to really run and win money.
Growing up in Michigan, Megan Sanders says she developed her love for horses at an early age, first grade to be exact. Years later, she did something that would forever change her life.
It was my first thoroughbred that I purchased at my college graduation that kind of started all of Brookwood Farm sport horses. So he was a 10-year-old thoroughbred, and I just went to look at him. I wasn't really very interested in a horse that old. And he actually took me on to my highest eventing career and passed away at the age of 21.
Proof to Megan that despite their track record, thoroughbreds can live a long and prosperous life even after their racing career is over. That's why in 1996, with the support of family, friends, and industry experts, she founded Brookwood Farm and Sport Horses. With 2 locations in Conyers, Georgia, the mission of Megan and her staff is to help thoroughbreds make what can often be a difficult transition.
I'm always a favor for the underdog, and these guys, they are so smart and they are so athletic, and I really feel like people don't see enough of the value in what a thoroughbred can have after the track. They aren't just racehorses. They can do so much more. I mean, we've got one gelding who is now a therapy horse. He works with special needs kids, and he's just the biggest puppy dog on the face of the earth. Those kids light him up. It makes his day. Versus we've got other horses that we've sold into highly competitive careers, and they're competing and trying to work their way to the upper levels of 3-day eventing. We've got several that end up in the hunter jumper rings or go into dressage homes. We have had a few that they've got injuries that are too far gone that we can't bring them back to a competitive career, so they're off being pasture ornaments or taking people on trail rides, which there's nothing wrong with that. There is value add there.
According to the Jockey Club, which is the National Registry for U.S. Thoroughbreds, on average, 3,000 racehorses are retired every year. The majority of them not even 7 years old. According to Megan, the approach one must take when dealing with a former racehorse, same approach when you first start riding one, slow and steady.
We let the horses tell us, are they wanting to be in a competitive career? Are they wanting to be in something more low-key and quiet? And if you walk through the barn, you'll hear a lot of relaxing sighs, and the horses in the stalls aren't running around, they're very relaxed. And that's really the environment that we try to create for these guys, because they're coming from such a hyped up environment. We find that they thrive with just everything kind of coming back down to ground zero, and then we rebuild them from there.
Fortunately and unfortunately, this is a business, and there comes a time when your children have to go on leave and be sold or go off to a better life, I guess you want to say. How hard is that for you?
That day is always painful. Every horse that comes into this farm becomes a part of my family. I cry when every single one of them leaves, even if they've been a difficult case. I had a few of those. But it's tears of joy and it's tears of sadness. You know, I come down at night and I do bed checks and, you know, get to snuggle and say goodnight to every single one of them. And I'm a very sensitive individual when it comes to my animals. But I do follow up very closely with all of the families that have our horses. I require pictures, and I go out and I cheer them on for those that are competitive, for those that are in more relaxed homes. If I'm in the area, I'll, you know, ask permission to stop in and say hi and check on them. But what matters most to me is the home that they're going to. So I don't take that decision lightly. So if I choose somebody to take one of our guys into their family, it's a decision that's been well thought out. I'm not doing it for the money. I have a full-time job. I do this for the sake of the horses.